I'm Lin.
And I'm Victoria.
And
we are the LD Project.
So when you come home every day, you'll probably think about, okay, it's time for me to do your homework, it's time for me to eat, time for me to sleep, those kind of things. But there probably might be times when you wonder, why am I doing this? What am I doing this for? Why am I even here in the first place? You start having doubts about being able to succeed in becoming a nurse, a doctor, or anything you want to be. And so I'm sure by now, at least most of you guys, if not all of you guys, probably have some sort of worry about what's going to happen down the road. And we just wanted to tell you today that we have those problems too.
Personal worries is always not getting an A on a grade. First of all, it's because when people when we apply, they will look at our grades and our GPA. So I'm always worried about my grades, and I still remember of how worried I was after getting my first non-A grade. And secondly, is my second worries is just I know that my journey is gonna be up and down, and I'm just sometimes scared how I'm gonna react to when I'm down. So I know it's coming, but I'm just like mentally preparing myself, like, okay, am I gonna be able to get back up when I'm in my lowest point? Because I had my lowest point when I was like by the end of sophomore. So
college sophomore?
Yeah, college sophomore. So that was like my lowest point of my so far of my healthcare career journey. So then I'm just like worried if I'm gonna face something like that again. And the third one is I'm just worried about the long journey. I think a lot of us can relate, because it takes a lot of skills and time to be an experienced healthcare provider. So just the educational part of it, it's already a long journey. So I'm worried about that. How am I able to endure that long? So those are some of my personal worries.
Interesting. Yeah. Well, most of the worries that I have also is the same with Victoria's worries. I'll add to one more thing: money. With every journey you have, you're probably going to be spending some sort of amount of money. As for me, I am particularly worried because I'm going to be going to med school. The amount of money it takes just to pay for it is not a small amount. And I've been hearing a lot of stories about how a lot of people, they would usually borrow from the bank, and the amount of money they borrow is not a small amount either. And so for a lot of people who just got out of college, got out of med school, got out of nursing school, you might not be able to find a job that quickly. So what happens if after 6 months your loans, or maybe not even less than 6 months, you starting to paying back your loans even though you haven't even gotten your job yet? So that's one of the worries I had. And also a second, but a little bit more selfish, I guess you can say, is a social life. I'm sure a lot of you guys, you have to sacrifice some sort of aspect for your life. For me, there's a part of me who still wants to connect with the friends I had in high school, the friends I have now in college. But as things get even busier, as my life gets busy and their lives gets busier, it makes you wonder if you're still going to be able to stay as friends, even if not as, even if you're really, really, really best friends in high school. How is that going to play out once you start going to medical school and they probably have their first job? Because for now, I'm sure a lot of you guys have already felt this distance between you and your friends. And I'm sure a lot of you guys, especially for people who are pretty much emotional, a lot of times it hurts. It hurts sometimes. It makes you want to think about, is this really what I wanted?
Right.
If I do this, will I have to sacrifice all of my friends? So yes, this can be a little bit selfish, but I'm sure you guys probably have felt some sort of, you know, would it be better if I made a different choice back in the day? You know, that kind of thing.
Yeah, I think a lot of people can relate to that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. But don't worry, we have things to combat that.
Yes, we do. So what are the things that you've been doing to combat that, combat those worries when they happen?
As for going back to the point about friends, sometimes there's not much you can do.
Yeah.
But you can always do your best. And when I mean do your best, I don't mean wait for someone to come and say, hey, I remember you from so and so and so. Sometimes if you have time, try to be the one who initiates the push. And there's also a thing where you can also make friends. I'm sure you guys will probably make a lot of friends once you hit medical school, or even if you're going to go to college, because you have a group of friends who are willing to study with you, who will be able to cheer you up when you're down. And a lot of times those people might have the same goals as you. So being able to have the same goals actually makes you guys bond even closer, probably even more closer than the bonds you have when with your high school buddies or your friends. So yeah,
that's a good one.
Yes.
Yeah, so like when you're starting to feel down about, oh no, I'm not gonna have a social life, you'll actually, the people that you're studying with are your friends.
Yes.
So
yes, it might not be friends in the first place, but as you get to know more, and you have this kind of gut feeling where it's like, I want to know more about you, then take the initiative and just become friends.
For example, this is a proof. Like, we don't know each other until we took this one class, which has nothing to do with healthcare career. Well, a little bit, but not like the major sciences. But that's how we form our friendship. So
yeah, we had this really weird kind of thing where we never talked to each other on the first day of class. It wasn't until we were forced into this group assignment. And so then we somehow just clicked.
Yeah.
Just automatically clicked, and I have no clue what happened after that.
Yeah. So so like Lin said, you will find ways. Have to be big things. Even like a simple text to your friends in high school, it would mean something. And also look forward to the new friendships that you're gonna form as you go through your healthcare career journey. So
yes. My other point was about money. Well, we can always start by saving money. We can always save on textbooks, save on anything you can for now, and then that will lessen your load on having to ask the bank for money. You can apply for jobs. Probably there's internship if you're able to. Let's see if you can be able to apply for work study. The campus that we have, they actually offer people money if they help them with surveys, research, those kind of things. So that's a little bit of small change, but every cent counts.
Yeah, and don't worry about it. I mean, if that is your passion, I have a couple friends that have to pause going to med school or nursing school for a moment and collect the money and then go to the school. So there are multiple ways, like Lin said, and sometimes if it requires you to wait for a moment and pause, that is possible, because in the end, if they during that time they really figure out, oh, I really want this, and this is my passion. So they're even more motivated to work and collect money and then pursue their education.
So kind of like a gap year then.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you are allowed to take time off.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're humans. We can't do everything all at once.
Yeah.
So if it boils down to needing to take a gap year, feel free to do so. No one's going to talk bad about you for doing it. No one's going to ask you to pay more money than if you just went to med school straight out of college. Everyone has their own path. You can choose whatever you want to do.
Yep. So now that Lin have shared some of the ways that she combat all of things that she's worried about in terms of her healthcare journey. So again, back to the 3 ways that I'm combating my worries when they start to creep out my brain, and then what I do to like push them away. So the first one, again, to refresh your mind, it was about, I was worried about if I don't get an A. So the number one thing that I use to fight against that worry is a mental reminder and mental exercise to just keep reminding myself that good grades or an A grade does not equal to being a good healthcare provider. So just a reminder to myself that grades are one of the many ways to tell you that you understand something, but it's not the only way, and there will be many opportunities for you to do better. So it doesn't mean that you're gonna be a bad nurse or bad dentist when you get a B in microbiology or something like that. So that's just a constant reminder, and just knowing that grades are important, but if you can endure and just stay and keep going, even though you get a B, you get an A, you get a C, you get a B, you get an A, you can always retake, if needed, and people will understand and they like it when they see that you endure. When you fall, when I don't get an A, I go back and then keep going. So I just keep that in mind, so then when I get a B, I'm like, okay, this does not define me as a healthcare provider. This is just another way to get me closer to the next step. So definitely having that mental thing every time when I start to criticize myself, and when I start to second guess myself, like, oh no, I can't do this really well, does it mean I'm gonna be a bad, how am I gonna move on, when that negative thoughts about yourself, toward myself, start coming, I fight it with those words of like the things that I said. So the second thing was, my worry was what I'm worried about, what I'm gonna do when I'm at my lowest point. So when I start worrying about that, I just remind myself the things that will help me when I'm in my lowest points, and when I'm in my highest point, I can share my happiness. So definitely friends are really important. And especially friends, either friends that are in your circle. I mean circle as in all studying to become a nurse, or all studying to become a dentist, or somebody that's outside of the healthcare circle. They can really motivate you when you're feeling down. My friends, when I'm feeling down, when I'm at my lowest points, I know that I can rely on them, and they can after talking to them, they're gonna keep me back on my track. Second thing is to just have small breaks every day, and have a larger break during at least one day per week, because if not, you're gonna stress out, and all that stresses is gonna mount up and explode one day. That's what happened to me during my sophomore year. So I know that what I did wrong, and so I'm gonna take breaks. And another thing also, I just think about when I start worrying about my lowest point, I just see it not as a bad thing that I should be afraid of. I should see it as just another pattern in my healthcare journey, and it's also an opportunity for me to really discover, is this really what I want to do? Because sometimes ideas and passion arise from those lowest points. So the third thing that I previously talked about was about the long journey of being a nurse. The ways that I fight that feeling of tiredness, like, oh, when is this gonna end? When can I just start talking with the patients? So it's keeping my dream alive and fresh. And you can find your own way how to do that. Some of the ways that I do to that, really, like when I'm doing them, it reminds me, oh yeah, this is why I'm enduring this long journey. So first things first, volunteering for me really helps. I get to see what kind of impact I can make, and it gives me so much joy when I'm able to give, when I'm able to chat or give someone else a second chance in terms of the health. And then second, visual aids are really important to me, so I have multiple sticky notes around my study table telling me to keep going. And so in the middle, when I'm like studying something and I get really tired, I just look at my window and there's my sticky notes. Then I get a little bit motivated and then I keep going. And the third one is this YouTube video. So this YouTube video, and you guys have been super great in helping me to keep me motivated and help me be accountable, and that I don't feel I'm alone. I feel like we're a community, and I feel really encouraged when I see you guys, you've been through, or you are now going through the same thing, or you will be going through the same thing, that I'm not by myself in this long journey, and we're just gonna lift each other up when we're down along, as we go through the journey. So
Awesome. Yeah. So that was what we used to encourage ourselves. So let us encourage you to your journey. And so while preparing for this video, I actually went on a website called Make Me Think, and it talks about how people pretty much talk about their experiences, which made them think, and hopefully make you guys think. So I actually don't have the post with me, fortunately, but I do remember and I do recall that there was one post that was talking about how this person was very, 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 very stressed out at life, pretty much, and that person was talking about it with the person's parents, or I think it's the grandparents, and the grandparent was saying how, well, things in life are stressful, and because of that, we tend to overthink. We think about the positive things, we think about the negative things, but mostly in order to be happy, we need to stop overthinking about things and just live life as it is. Because yes, for us, we are only humans. We can only do so much. Yes, we have to cram everything in a small period of time. Yes, we're gonna have to sacrifice some of the things in order to accomplish other things. Yes, we're gonna have to spend money. Yes, our journey is not short at all. But if you think about it in a sense, what is your goal? And is your goal gonna make all these sacrifices you made worth it? And if that is the case, do what you think is best for you. As for us, yes, we're gonna cry sometimes, we're gonna get mad, we're gonna get frustrated. But at the end of the day, being able to see patients who have a smile on their face makes us happy. And so if that what makes you happy, then you're just good to go. You're just good to go.
Yeah. I really like that. I think especially when you say don't overthink things. I think when your heart is the main engine that keeps you going, you will keep going. So I'm gonna close this with a word of encouragement. And I think, so Martin Luther King Jr. said this once. He said, if you can't fly, then run. If you can't run, then walk. If you can't walk, then crawl. But whatever you do, you have to keep moving forward. I think that quote is really important, because sometimes things happen and you cannot always give your 100%. Sometimes you have to give a certain percent to studying, a certain percent to taking care of your health, a certain percent to eat, drink, those kind of things. So on the times when I have too many things on my plate and I'm like, oh my goodness, I cannot do this, what am I gonna do for my quiz? Do not give up. Just keep studying, keep studying. I say to myself, and then do the quiz. And from the beginning, we know that our journey, and maybe your guys' journey, either it's gonna be long or short. There are days where we feel like it's very long, but don't give up. Keep doing whatever you can do. You have no idea how a lot that is. It may feel little, but it's always better than giving up. Yeah, so don't give up. And there are days that you feel like you want to give up. Just probably play this video, and we hope when you're, I'm gonna also look at this when I'm down. And I know we know it's kind of long, but just skip to the part where it's like the combat part. So yeah, we hope that this video will help you guys and help ourselves to get back up when we're down. So yeah,
Okay,
thank you for watching, guys. Bye.